Ja się nazywam Bartek Swojak i jestem Web Product Managerem w Tygodniku Powszechnym. A Tygodnik Powszechny to jest tygodnik, który został założony w 1945 roku w Krakowie i ponieważ mamy już prawie 80 lat, no to można sobie zadać pytanie, co ja robię na konferencji o Drupalu, a odpowiedź jest prosta, ponieważ kochamy i używamy Drupala od wielu, wielu lat. I na tym Drupalu działamy w zasadzie od chyba 11 lat w tej chwili. No i nasza stara strona w pewnym momencie stała się problemem. Zacznę od definicji problemu, który w ogóle za pomocą rE-medium próbowaliśmy rozwiązać, albo problemów, bo ta lista była bardzo długa. I uproszczając ją, zaczniemy od tego, że przede wszystkim byliśmy na Drupalu 7. I o ile Drupal 7 sam w sobie służył nam przez bardzo wiele lat, no to jak wszyscy wiemy, zaczęło się zbliżać end of life i trzeba było postanowić, co zrobić dalej. Drugi problem to to, że jako wydawca, który żyje z tego, że sprzedaje naszą wersję czasopisma, potrzebowaliśmy jakiejś formy paywalla. No i z tym było dosyć cienko w rozwiązaniu, którego używaliśmy do tej pory. A trzeci, że mieliśmy bardzo rozbudowany workflow wszystkich naszych artykułów, który dotyczył i wersji drukowanej, i wersji internetowej. I na tej części się najbardziej w tej chwili skupię. Mamy tu przygotowany, i nie oczekuję, żeby ktoś zapamiętał, ale przygotowany schemat tego, jak wyglądał artykuł i historia artykułu, który publikowaliśmy na stronie albo w wersji drukowanej. Wszystkie rzeczy, które się z tym działy, artykuły, które trafiały do wersji mobilnej, do aplikacji, do wersji dla Kindla, którą wydawaliśmy przez długi czas na Amazonie, zajmowały strasznie dużo czasu, ale w największym uproszczeniu wyglądało to tak, że autor pisał swoje artykuły w Wordzie, przesyłał tego Worda do redaktora, redaktor przesyłał do kolejnego redaktora, ktoś wysyłał te maile do fact-checkingu, ktoś wysyłał te maile do korekty i zaczynały się gigantyczne problemy typu, gdzie jest najnowsza wersja artykułu, gdzie jest artykuł, który ktoś został zmieniony, kto wprowadził w tym zmiany, albo kto zmienił, pojechał na weekend i zapomniał wysłać tego maila komuś dalej. Te wszystkie artykuły trafiały do InDesigna, czyli programu, w którym przygotowujemy naszą wersję drukowaną. I dopiero na samym końcu dostawały to osoby odpowiedzialne za serwis internetowy, zaczynały ciąć artykuł w internecie na różne pola w Drupalu, na tytuł, na lead i tak dalej. I na końcu trafiało to na naszą stronę internetową. Co powoduje, że po pierwsze musieliśmy mieć wersję na stronę przygotowaną tak naprawdę po tym, jak już był gotowy magazyn do druku, co opóźniało publikację jakichkolwiek artykułów, albo robiliśmy wyjątki, które kończyły się tym, że na przykład były dwie wersje tego samego artykułu, trzeba było to opanować. No i pytanie, jak możemy to rozwiązać? Idea była taka, odwracamy bieg rzeki, czyli wszystkie rzeczy mają trafić do jednego systemu, zarówno zdjęcia, jakieś multimedia, treści tego artykułu i w tym jednym systemie pracujemy nad treścią, nad wersjonowaniem, robimy fact-checking, przygotowujemy wersję, dajemy to korekcie i z tego jednego miejsca trafi to i do InDesigna, w którym przygotowujemy drukowaną wersję, i na stronę internetową, ale także do wydań typu EPUB czy wszystkich wersji, które dystrybuujemy na przykład na Kindla. Tylko pytanie, jak to zrobić? No i spędziliśmy praktycznie rok szukając różnych rozwiązań dostępnych na rynku. Dostaliśmy bardzo wiele świetnych ofert CMS-ów dostosowanych do wydawców. Rozwiązań stosowanych przez wydawców największych na świecie, które miały świetne narzędzia właśnie dostosowane do wydawcy, który działa w internecie, który ma wersję drukowaną, po prostu full wypas. Natomiast te wszystkie feature'y, które chcieliśmy, którymi się nakręcaliśmy na demo, miały jedną poważną wadę. Chcieliśmy takiego rozwiązania, a to był nasz budżet. To się nie mogło spinać. Zaczęliśmy szukać innych opcji, no i się okazało, że na rynku, także w Polsce, dostępne są opcje, w których możemy użyć narzędzi oferowanych przez duże medialne koncerny, które dostajemy za free. Możemy z nich korzystać, możemy na nich zbudować nasz serwis internetowy, ale oddajemy naszą niezależność. Pojawia się ktoś, kto może wpływać na treści, które chcemy opublikować i pojawia się ktoś, od kogo jesteśmy totalnie zależni technologicznie, no bo wyprowadzka z takiego rozwiązania będzie bardzo trudna. Więc to rozwiązanie było dla nas zupełnie nie do zaakceptowania. I podsumowując, mieliśmy stronę na Drupalu 7 ze zbliżającym się końcem wsparcia. Do you want to switch to English? Okay, we'll switch to English. That would be easier for everyone. So we had our website on Drupal 7 and the end of life was postponed, but still it was coming. We didn't have a budget for the solutions that big media conglomerates are using. And we didn't want to sell our souls. So basically, looking at the list of the problems, we were screwed. It was like, we have to figure something out. And the important thing is that we love our printed version, we love paper, but we need to be digital. We cannot just rely on the paper. And we realized that the solution was in front of our eyes all the time, with maybe small correction, not 7. And this is how we created rE-medium. rE-medium as a CMS based on Drupal that is dedicated for small and medium publishers, for companies like us. The main idea was that we would like to have this centralized content, so basically everything, every team that works on the content works in Drupal. It's editorial team, it's proofreading team, but it's also a lot of people from marketing, from sales, people, everybody basically who have influence on what we do works in Drupal. And from Drupal, we publish our website, we publish podcasts, we of course have RSS and different channels, and we can prepare our content for printed edition, as well as for ebooks, Mobi, EPUB, etc. And the first implementation of rE-medium CMS was, of course, at Tygodnik Powszechny, because we did this. We migrated over 70,000 articles from Drupal 7, articles that had a lot of legacy issues and were coming from different formats, different fields, created in different times. So it was over, I think, 12 years of content from different sources. And a lot of time we spent identifying, okay, this is how we created captions for images. And this time, after that, we changed something, and making an order in it was one of the biggest issues. We had over 300,000 registered users that we had to migrate, because a lot of those people had active subscription to our website. And we had over 300K URLs, because there was a lot of redirects when editorial team was adjusting articles, adjusting titles of articles, so we had to keep those URLs and those redirects in mind. And the main features that we implemented, starting with different levels of access to this website. First of all, we have different access levels for external users. So basically, we have people who are anonymous to us, people who already registered, and we can grant them, for example, access to a number of free articles, and people who bought the access to our website, so our basically premium users who can see behind the paywall. But we also have a number of internal roles that can be used among editorial team, people who have access to the user data, people who can perform proofreading, for example, or very funny role, remover. We decided that only this role can have a right to remove something and delete some content from database. The rest can unpublish something, but they cannot delete something, for example. And the most used element is this editorial workflow that basically works in the way that we can save some articles as ordered as some drafts when our author is still working on the article. Then they can pass this to first reading by first editor, second editor, proofread, everybody who is basically checking if this article is correct, if there are no issues, and if this article would be ready for publishing. In the meantime, our photo editorial team can prepare photos for this and can mark article like, hey, I already prepared this. And of course, at the end, we can publish this on the website and prepare for our printed edition. And the idea we had in mind was that this is ideal scenario, but there might be a case when someone needs to publish something really, really urgently. For example, there is some big issue in the world and we would like to publish article. We don't have time to wait for everything. So basically, everybody has a right to skip some of those steps, but it's of course registered in the system. What else it does that our team is using this to prepare this printed edition. We are exporting an XML format, but aligned with InDesign requirements. So basically, the team who is preparing paper edition, they don't have to copy this text, mark where is the title, where is the lead of the article. They have this already pre-formatted and mapped to our styles, which basically means that there's only creative work left for them. They don't have to spend time doing this manual, boring work. We have, of course, our website. We have our edition that was prepared for EPUB that was initially created for Kindle. Kindle has this amazing newsstand that automatically published all the articles. Amazon shut down the service, but we still can publish EPUBs from our website. We can also publish podcasts from this website directly, so the editorial team, people who are preparing podcasts, are working only in CMS. They don't have to worry about Spotify or Tidal going to all those services. They use this here. And we have something that our business really works, so paywall. Paywall is made with PayU. At the moment, we are using payment gateway from PayU, but the system is prepared if you would like to implement any other payment gateway that exists in Drupal. It can be replaced, easier or more difficult, but it can be changed. And we spent a lot of time working with different media publishers, including New York Times and Financial Times, who helped us to create appropriate structure for those articles to make sure that they would be optimized for SEO, that there would be additional tags for social media. And for example, we are using AI to publish and to decide which articles from website needs to go to Facebook, to Instagram, etc. And of course, a lot of structured data for analytics, because we spent a lot of time analyzing what our readers do, what they read, where they stop reading articles, and what they really like. We also had this kind of survey we sent to our readers, asking them what they want to see on our website. And surprise, it's completely different things that comes from the analytics. People say that they want to read very serious stuff about culture, about education, about science, but they like gossips, like everyone. So we hardly rely on our analytics to make sure that we can deliver what people actually do and use on our website. And we have this paywall that has been built and optimized for search and social media, which means that for the people who don't know our magazine, we cannot sell them anything. If someone is looking content, they would see the paywall for the first time. They wouldn't buy access to the website because it doesn't make sense. They would go somewhere else. So we have those possibilities that we can open some articles and give some sample for free. For people who are coming to us from social media, we want to convince them that we have good quality of articles, that we want to sell them, and only then we would encourage them to buy something. This is very similar to the solutions that are used by New Yorker, by Wall Street Journal, for example, because we are working with them to learn from them how they already did this. We didn't want to make the same mistakes as they did in the history. So we were trying to learn from people who introduced this kind of paywalls years ago. And we can distinguish traffic source and prepare different offers for people coming from different media. If people are coming directly from organic search or from social media, we can give them different offers at our website. So this was implementation at Tygodnik Powszechny. This was our website, which was basically beta version of rE-medium. But it's not only our CMS. It's not something that we prepared for ourselves. We worked with Norwegian funds. We get the finance for this to build the CMS that can be shared with other publishers, with publishers of similar size who also need a tool, who cannot afford the tools available on the market. And that's why we built rE-medium, which is basically created based on our history with Drupal. Everything we learned for those 11 years when we used Drupal in Tygodnik Powszechny. We've tested and implemented beta version over a year ago, and we changed a lot after this implementation has been done, because we learned that many things require some improvements or changes. So it's tested. It's actually tested in real life environment. And it's basically over 200 Drupal modules that has been combined together to work together. One of the biggest assumptions we had was that we would like to minimize the effort of writing custom modules. We were trying to use what is already there. So a lot of requirements that were coming from our editorial team, from our marketing team, we were trying to adjust to use existing Drupal modules. And we have, I believe, 5 or 6 modules that were created from scratch by us. The rest is basically combining existing Drupal features to minimize the number of the code that has been written and prepared for this website. And of course, to minimize the costs of maintenance of this tool. This is really helping, because we were able to prepare this within more or less 1 year. At the same time, we are dependent on those modules, because some of modules we choose are not very well maintained. Hello? I think I lost it. So yeah, some hello. Oh, okay. So basically, we are dependent on some modules, and some of those modules are not very well maintained. So we had to take this on ourselves, but still it was easier than creating all the code from the scratch, because probably we wouldn't be able to afford that. And the whole idea is that this CMS is now available free of charge for different publishers. So basically, most of the publishers can come into our program and start to work with us to not only extend this CMS, but to start using them for their own purposes. And the main reason, the main idea behind this, because it was founded by non-government organizations, this is available for the publishers who are independent of the government. We cannot give this to the government media, for example, but all the independent, because of the funding, but all the independent publishers can use this CMS. And this is not actually full-scale Drupal distribution. I'm still looking forward for Drupal recipes, because maybe this would give us, allow us a chance to create something that would be easier to install. At this moment, it's not, but it's a program that we can work together with different publishers to extend this tool together, to prepare new functionalities, to use what's already existing there. But it's not something you can just click and install and it would work, because if, like, very simplified but standard process of preparing the solutions like this is that we need to have some definition of the requirements, prepare design, have coding of the backend, prepare the team, front-end team, and implement this. We did big part of this work already. So we are delivering backend, we are delivering definition of all the requirements that has been prepared, but there is no such thing as front-end team that is ready to use, simply because we don't want every website to look the same or with just small differences. So for publishers who like to use this, they need to design, and they need to have at least front-end developer who would prepare the team for them, but still the biggest part of this job is already done. And what is available in our, I would call this package, is of course Drupal core, all those 200 modules that we implemented, configured together and make them work, and a lot of Drupal configs files. We have, I believe, over 1,000 YAMLs at the moment that includes views, different ways of configuration, how modules work together, workflow definitions, etc. We have admin team. We are using Gin because it was better on the mobile than the original admin team in Drupal. And we have a very simplified front-end team that looks almost like this, that is ready for styling, but it's not ready, it's not production ready. So everyone who would like to use this needs to prepare their own front-end and needs to have someone who understands Drupal enough to prepare front-end for implementation. And what's next? We already have 2 publishers who are implementing this CMS and who thought this is the perfect solution for them because they had exactly the same problems as we had initially. They also couldn't find a tool that is good enough, or very often they found a company who started to prepare custom solution for them, and those people disappeared at some point, and at this moment no one wants to finish their work, so they are looking for a new solution. And we are creating some kind of consortium of all those publishers, so people who can work together to deliver new features, because, for example, at the moment we don't have comment modules because we are not using them, but we know that there are a couple of publishers who would like to implement comments. We know that there are some publishers who would like to extend ads on this website and use more, so we are working with them. And we will be looking for the bigger group. If somebody would like to use the CMS, maybe we can work together to extend the solution and to make it better. And that's everything what I wanted to show today. So any questions?
No, but good job.
Thank you very much. Okay, cool. In the history of Tygodnik Powszechny, I believe it was 8 or 9 years ago, Tygodnik Powszechny was bought by TVN And at some point we thought this would be the great idea for financing, but we finished this partnership at some point because there was too many dependencies and we didn't want to be part of big media conglomerate. So we created an institution called Fundacja Tygodnika Powszechnego, Tygodnik Powszechny Foundation, which bought back all the actions, and we still 100% belong to just Fundacja, which is basically our own product. The whole idea was to be independent and to not have anyone who could influence what we can publish and what we cannot publish.
Sorry, mam mikrofon, to też chciałem zapytać. Akurat pytanie takie, no prawdopodobnie znamy już odpowiedź, ale jednak posłał na Drupal.org kilku distributions for media i podejrzewam, że po prostu nie pasowało, ale jak? Czy sprawdzaliście, co nie pasowało?
Okay, I will answer in English. So the most interesting for us was Thunder, which has been created by German Burda Media, and they created this initially for themselves. They just needed tools for their own titles. They decided to publish this few years later, and we thought this is really interesting distribution, but they didn't have some features we really needed, for example, paywall. And we had option to use one of those distributions and extend them by adding our own modules, or start from scratch, but use some of the modules. And I believe we are using one module that has been prepared by Burda Media and Thunder at the moment, which is paragraphs features. And the main idea of this module, and the main reason why we are using them, is it gives you this small button that allows editorial team to divide one big chunk of text into two. They don't have to copy and paste. If you want to include some interactive elements between the text, it's just one click around. So we used some of the features that were published and created by Thunder team, but we didn't use any other distro because it was too many changes and it was easier this way.
No, I actually had the same question.
Should I answer again? Okay, thank you very much, everybody. If you would be more interested, you can go to our website, you can write to us and ask more questions, so feel free to contact us at any point. Thank you.